Good afternoon, everybody. A very warm welcome to Germany, to the Nürburgring for round 6 of the FIA Formula 2 Championship. Is about to get underway. The cars are about to head off onto the green flag lap, having formed up on the grid, except for one. So we've got one in the pits, which is the Bulgarian driver, I'm afraid, Plamen Kralev, who just missed out on the points yesterday. He looks like he's got some woes. Very unusual to see that, because there's an incredibly high reliability records in Formula 2. It's something the team pride themselves on.
We seem to have a car on fire at the back of the pack there. As it, just as we're talking about the great reliability, there was a lot of smoke and a flame coming out the back.
As you're absolutely right, Axel Jeffries there, the Zimbabwean driver, gets out quick, sharp, and a good spot there, out he gets, and wrong graphic there, but it is certainly Axel Jeffries, the Zimbabwean, just 18 years old, who gets out of the car, and that is a very, very unusual sight indeed. Okay, so definitely going to get underway this time. This time I can get excited. James, who is going to get the best start. It's very quick away. Bit of wheel spin, I reckon, from Zanella. He comes across to defend, but he looks like he's going to get it. Marinescu will took him behind into second. And then Katusha there in third place, having a look down the inside. Marcus Pommer is on the inside line for fourth place, but it looks like Pachetta is trying to go around the outside of him as they work their way through the first corner. It's Zanella that leads. Marinescu second. Tusha is third. Pommer hanging on around the outside for fourth place. David Zhu in the red and yellow car. The Chinese driver's made a decent start, and he's trying to go around the outside now, squeeze their way through here and pick up maybe 5th or 6th position. Despite all the efforts, Pachetta, I think, has ended up losing a place to Alex Fontana. So he started 5th. I reckon he's down in 6th place. Let's have a look. Zanella, Marinescu, Tusha, Pommer. Yes, it is Fontana, and then it's Pachetta. So he tried to get 4th place in the end. He lost 5th, and he's dropped down to 6th position. The rest of the field weave their way through the opening encounters of this lap. They build up the speed now up to 5th gear and into the hairpin down to 3rd gear for this one. They will go just behind the top 6. Daniel McKenzie, David Zhu, Dino Zamparelli has made up a place. That's the British driver from Bristol, has gone from 10th to 9th. Kevin Marocca is in 10th place. He's dropped back actually after a good start yesterday. Kevin, just saw him flash through his screen ahead of the blue and orange car of Hector Hurst, ends up losing a place. So a very good start for Christopher Zanella then, who is determined to get his first race victory of the year, spice the championship up still further. You can see David Zhu had a very good start to the race, but he didn't really make any ground. He's now got Kevin Marocca, and he's also got Hector Hurst breathing down his neck. There is Hector in the blue, silver and orange car, who has been in the points in every race so far in his opening season. Bit of a twitch on the brakes then into the NGK chicane. They can't use the boost on the first lap of the race. After at the end of lap 1 it will become active, so even though they're all close together, nobody can use the boosts yet, and they're about to head then towards Coca-Cola Curva through the final turn of the lap. They go through there, 3rd gear, and then head up to over the start finish line. Zanella leads by half a second at the end of the first lap. Boost zones now will become active hereafter. Marinescu, Tusha, Pommer, Fontana and Pachetta. So in amongst the top 6, the only one to make a decent start really was Fontana. Like Daniel McKenzie was going to have a look at the inside of somebody there, and that is Sureshwara, the Indian driver, on the outside there, trying to go around the Russian Max Negerev. These two had a bit of a fight yesterday, and down the inside now goes Sureshwara and picks up that place. So good move that. Thought about it on the way out to the corner and made the place stick. So 1 or 2 trying it on at the first corner or so, James, but not really getting anywhere there.
No, it's very wide, so you have a lot of space to both cover and also try to get around somebody, but no real progress. Zanella's start looked a lot like Marinescu's yesterday, leaving big dark lines. Clearly a lot of wheel spin, but it worked for him. And it was at this stage of the race we saw Mihai scampering away in doing the 149s. Yeah. No one else really managing to match that, so it'll be interesting to see if Christopher can now do that in the clear air.
Exactly right, actually. Mihai afterwards said, I didn't get a great start, but it was just about good enough to hold me in the leads at the first corner, and from there on in he was never really challenged. There was a stage 2/3 of the way into the race where Pachetta just caught him up by about half a second. He brought the gap down from 4 to 3.3, 3.4 seconds, but it stabilised thereafter. And in the end, the China was more worried about really keeping the flying Christopher Zanella behind him. Christopher, I think, certainly potentially one of the drivers that we might consider for the award that we have to give at the end of this weekend, the Comet Driver of the Weekend, because he's certainly having his best 2 days in the championship so far this year. David Zhu coming under attack there on the way into the NGK chicane from Kevin Marocca, the white and red car with the luminous yellow helmet. Kevin really stuck down where he shouldn't be in this race, and he wants to get on with this quickly, but now he's coming into one of the boost zones. He's much quicker up front though. Like Marinescu is closer than he's been ever before. He's brought the gap down to 0.3 of a second. He's trying to go around the outside now of the race leader. He's got his nose in front. as long as he doesn't run wide, he'll get the lead, but he's just about scrambled it back on track. It was a bit touch and go, but he's done it, and he's got the lead of the race there. And Zanella didn't fight too hard for that. It looked, I think he probably thought that Mihai was going to go too deep into the corner and he might get him on the way back, but he just did it. Now here's a battle, and it's Danny McKenzie trying to get ahead of fellow Brit Luciano Becchetta. Luciano really been struggling at the start of this race. You've got Dino Zamparelli. There's three British drivers here going nose to tail. Zamparelli just at the back of them. Dino had a spin yesterday, a great start yesterday, got from 10th to 8th, did Dino, but through the Schumacher S's, just ahead of him, Alex Fontana had a moment. Dino reacted to that because it's such a high-speed corner. The car just snapped away from him. As we see a potential challenge here, was a problem for Calamia. Well, Calamia is on the right, he's going to be overtaken, looks like he's okay, it just looks like a good pass for the number 5 car, rather, Pardeep Sureshwaran. Now comes back under attack from Calamia around the outside. They're going to go wheel to wheel here, a real battle for them. Sureshwaran then holds track. Calamia goes off and tries to get back. He's going to try and get back just in time to keep Max Negerev behind him. So they're out of the points, these three. They're having a tremendous battle. We see 2 or 3 good moves this weekend from the 30-year-old Pardeep Sureshwaran. And there he is, managing to get ahead, eventually, of Mauro Calamia in the number 14 car. Max Negerev there. He's got plenty of experience in things like Formula 3, Formula Parma Audi, and more recently in Formula 2 at the back of this little pack. And David Dew here is on the attack, trying to get past Dan McKenzie, the ex-F3 racer. Dan very confident after qualifying yesterday, but he just said the car was horrible to drive from the off, and it was a difficult race when you're battling just to try and keep people behind you. He had a bit of a tough time of it, and now he's going to have to try and keep the Chinese driver behind him too. Right. This is starting to look like a battle for the lead of the race again, isn't it? It's got close to becoming a tough battle at times, but now Zanella is on the march, goes past the commentary box, over the start-finish line, he's in the zone, he's going to try the outside route by the looks of things, he's alongside, he's got his nose in front here, and he's going to do to Marinescu what Marinescu did to him. If he can hold it on the track, he runs very wide, but just about gathers it up, scrambles it back on the track, and he gets the lead of the race once again. So back into first position he goes. That was almost a carbon copy of what happened to him near the start of the race, James.
It was just desserts, wasn't it? He clearly was determined to do that, and the outside line seems to work, because when you hold those drivers tight on the inside, they don't have the braking performance and they can't get into the corner either. So this wide line for the overtake is proving quite fruitful.
We're on to the final lap of the race, meanwhile, for the leaders, into the first turn, and just over 5 kilometres to go now for that man, Christopher Zanella, the Coma driver of the weekend, after a terrific drive through the order from 7th to 3rd yesterday. He's on course for his 3rd win in Formula 2, his first of the 2012 season, and he's 2.2 seconds clear now of Mihai Marinescu. So he's just got himself to race here. He's just got to stay focused, stay on it, but he's looked very focused all weekend. And we've got a replay, and it's a move from Dino Zamparelli. So we didn't see it live, but that's Dino having a go at Luciano Becchetta. It's just a little bit wide, yeah. He's heading for Belgium then, but he just about got it back onto the circuit in time. Didn't get the place though. Good effort. And well, it was probably his best chance, wasn't it? And I think he probably, unless Luciano makes a mistake now, he's not going to get another crack at that. But almost home is Christopher Zanella. He has been pretty flawless this weekend in the race. His only blip really was his pace in qualifying 1, but after that he's had a sensational weekend, and Christopher Zanella becomes the 3rd different winner this year in the FIA Formula 2 Championship, and he is very, very happy about that. 3 seconds clear of Mihai Marinescu. I think Marinescu will be satisfied with his weekend performance, his best weekend so far this season. 3rd place goes to Matteo Tuscia, his 3rd podium of the year. 4th place, and a much better time of it for Marcus Pommer, the German driver. 5th place goes to Alex Fontana. 6th is Luciano Becchetta. Just behind him after that noble effort was Dino Zamparelli in 7th place. Daniel McKenzie comes home in 8th. David Dew in 9th place, picking up more points is David. He's 10th in the championship, and he's been in the points in 4 of the 6 races now. And Luciano Becchetta leading the championship on 126 points. And Christopher Zanella has now moved ahead of Matteo Tuscia into 2nd place in the standings. 82 points for him, 3 points clear of Matteo Tuscia. Mihai Marinescu still 4th in the standings. It's very close between those drivers, in 8 points between them. Alex Fontana, Marcus Pommer round out the top 6 in the points. Mihai Marinescu takes about 2nd place for him, but it's going to be a bit of a jump and a bit of a kick in the step here for Christopher Zanella. Gets a high five from his engineer on top of the car, and there is a deserving winner. You can see just what it means to him. He's been on the ropes a bit the last couple of races, and he gets congratulated by Mihai Marinescu in a very sporty fashion.
Christopher, welcome back to the top step of the Formula 2 podium.
Yeah, it's a very good feeling to be again on the first place. Especially, I had a hard time, and now I'm really happy to be again on the podium, first.
Presenting the trophies is Sabine Schmidt, the only woman to win, or the first woman to win a major 24-hour race. She's the master of the Nürburgring. She's been around there something silly like 20,000 times. She goes around the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, about 1,200 times a year. You may remember her from various appearances if you're in the UK and the Top Gear programme. She's also a television personality in Germany these days. Thanks very much for watching from James Cornell and from myself, Chris Hartley. Do join us again for more Formula 2.